Welcome to the multimedia training for nonprofit organizations and their board members. This training is presented by the Community Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services section of the Texas Department of State Health Services. This presentation is not all-inclusive. The objective of this presentation is to discuss important details or aspects of nonprofit board management and board member responsibility. This training will help in the orientation of new board members and in the board's review of the organization's operations. This presentation is not intended to change the way you do business, but merely to demonstrate some ways in which successful boards operate. The goal of each board member, both individually and collectively, as members of the board, is to do everything lawful and necessary for the organization to carry out the mission of the nonprofit. The board member must be committed to the mission and purpose of the organization and be willing to do what is needed for the organization to be successful. Bylaws are the conceptual framework of the organization and should be provided to each board member for review. Board members should ensure that all actions and decisions are not in conflict with the bylaws. The committees necessary to manage the agency's business should also be identified and members appointed to serve on these committees. Policies are the guiding values that put the organization's mission into action. They are the board's decision on what course of action to take on defined issues. The procedures are how those decisions are put into action. The executive director, or CEO, is responsible for ensuring that board policy is put into procedures and that all staff are aware of and operate according to the procedures. Boards of directors across disciplines have basic responsibilities. They are: the board members determine the organization's mission and ensures that decisions are made that support the mission, goals, and objectives, and that the decisions made take into account the care and welfare of those to whom services are being delivered. The board members select and hire the executive director. They review and evaluate the executive director's performance annually and communicate the results of that review in an appropriate manner. The board member must understand that his or her role is one of policy making and that the executive director is charged with the responsibility to carry out the policy established by the board. The board members should support the executive director in the day-to-day decisions and overall operations of the organization. A board self-assessment is a process that enables the board to review its progress. A self-appraisal should be conducted annually. The results of the self-appraisal is used to improve future performance and to provide direction necessary if change is indicated. The board should conduct annual strategic planning sessions to determine the organization's future directions and to evaluate its effectiveness in carrying out the mission and purpose of the agency. The board members participate in the planning process, including strategic planning. The board members ensure the continuation of the organization through financial oversight and leadership support. The board must ensure that the agency has adequate resources to carry out its mission and does so in a responsible manner. Each board member should review, approve, and then monitor the agency's budget and finances. Board members assume certain legal liabilities when they become members of a board. Members assume the same legal responsibilities as a corporate director. The members of the board of directors are legally liable for the organization's operations and should exercise good faith and due diligence as they exercise their responsibilities. This means the board members can become a party to a lawsuit individually and/or as a board and can be held financially liable for all aspects of the organization's operations. To demonstrate this duty to care, the board members should attend and participate in board meetings and activities. This requires that board members read and understand all relevant material before attending the meeting and obtain adequate and accurate information on which to base decisions. This should include hiring an independent expert to review the financial condition of the organization each year. When external assistance is required, the board has a responsibility to ensure that qualified experts and consultants are obtained and used. The board must require the executive staff to exercise adequate oversight of the agency personnel, assets, and operations. The board member has a duty of loyalty. The board member should, at all times, act in the best interest of the organization and to those whom service is provided. Acting in good faith should be the guiding principle. The board member should not profit directly or indirectly as a result of their position on the board. Any and all conflicts of interest or potential conflicts of interest should be identified and specific action taken to remedy the situation. The board member must do nothing that would either by actions or words cast a negative reflection. A board member has a duty of obedience. The board member must ensure the organization conducts itself in compliance with its organizational missions and bylaws. Board members must be aware of and familiar with all contractual obligations entered into by the organization. Fundraising is one of the most important duties of a board member. It is important that board members are involved in fundraising activities. Many boards conduct special events such as celebrity dinners, silent auctions, and other activities to raise money for their organization. Monies raised through fundraising can be used for any purpose needed by the organization as approved by the board. To ensure the continuity of the board should establish a procedure for recruiting and selecting new board members and for new member orientation and training. Candidates for membership should be identified based on character, expertise, interest, and community leadership. Once recruited, the new board members should be oriented, mentored, and trained. The following slides are designed to clarify the board versus staff roles. The board exercises its fiduciary role to ensure the organization is properly managed. Staff provides information to the board demonstrating that the organization is well managed. The board should have a mechanism to validate information from the executive director. The board reviews and ensures that proper reporting is submitted to all oversight bodies accurately and timely. This includes reviewing oversight targets and performance goals. Staff compiles information for annual reporting requirements. The Executive Director, or CEO, prepares and presents the annual budget for approval with input from appropriate staff. The board should approve an operating budget only after careful review and analysis. The staff develops reports to demonstrate program progress and to review the financial condition of the organization and programs. The board reviews financial and program information on a periodic basis to ensure that the program and financial goals are met. This should include a review of goals set by the board and those goals set by oversight agencies. A plan should be developed whenever goals are not on track. The board approves personnel policies and staff implements these policies. The board hires the executive director and evaluates her or his performance. The board sets salary and compensation levels for all staff, as well as determines benefits for staff. These benefits include insurance, vacation, and sick leave. Staff hires all other personnel and evaluates their performance. The board establishes and determines resource development and fundraising goals and activities. Staff conducts research and assists in fundraising efforts. The board recruits new board members. The staff may propose names for consideration of membership, and the executive director may assist with interviewing prospective members. The board is also responsible for electing officers to carry out some of the duties of the board. At a minimum, elected officers should include chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. Staff prepares information regarding organizational operations. The board maintains minutes and attendance records for all meetings. Staff assists with preparation and distribution of minutes. An effective board will set the direction and policy for the organization. Effective board members attend all board meetings. Effective board members have a thorough knowledge of the organization's mission, provisions within the bylaws, and goals and requirements of oversight agencies. Effective board members stay informed of the program and financial activities and operations of the organization. Effective board members engage in activities that will assure adequate resources to meet the organization's goals and obligations while maintaining conduct that is in the best interest of the organization. This concludes the multimedia training for nonprofit organizations and their board members. Thank you very much for viewing this training. We hope this information makes your job easier and increases your agency's effectiveness.